Where do you have to be and what is going on? We dealt with those questions for you and now it's your time to shine as a mid laner. So let's go. It's the start of the game, so we have to be mindful of champions such as Twisted Fate, Nunu or Thresh. Those could potentially invade us and catch someone off guard. Depending on your champion choice or rather the team composition, you're able to either execute such an invade or are forced to place defensive vision. Do not overcommit for that vision though, because the tiniest misstep can get you killed. The buffs will spawn in 5 seconds and laning has begun. Be mindful that nobody is waiting in the brush next to your lane. Especially supports abuse this cheesy trick a lot to set the enemy mid laner behind and give theirs an advantage without losing anything. As this phase continues, you'll see up to 3 waves that rush towards the enemy tower. Next is understanding your matchup in isolation and the jungle's potential influence. Are you going to have agency in lane? And if so, will you be able to 2v2 the enemy, jungle and mid lane? After that, use your defensive vision. You don't want to give the enemy any chance of getting anything done without you knowing about it. As a defensive mid laner, you must do the following. First, you need to preserve HP and mana. Second, accumulate as much gold as possible without getting you or your jungler killed. For that, you're going to stay as close as possible to your tower and farm those minions from relative safety. However, you're not at fault if your jungler chooses to suicide. Don't feel forced to help them if they literally are running it down. Now for the aggressive laner, so the one that has the agency and push in lane. He can choose what he wants to do. Being able to deal with the wave faster than the opposition creates himself a window in which he can rotate to another play, be it a scuttle fight, a dive, a gank or just a simple reset. Between 1 minute and 25 seconds and 3 minutes and 30 seconds, you're going to farm as much gold as possible before you recall. Ideally, you want to complete your first major item before the first objective spawns. Depending on your gold income, kills or overall financial situation, you're going to be able to buy it before or after. This is a so-called power spike and it matters a lot when you want to win fights. It would be very beneficial for you to reset early enough to replenish your resources and spend your gold if you're aiming to contest something. Other than that, you're going to see a few skirmishes and potential dives presenting themselves to you, and it's up to you if you want to take part in those. But don't forget, every play entails a certain risk and needs to be seen as an investment. Rotating for a kill that grants you 300 gold and your ally 150 gold while you lose 3 waves cannot be really seen as a good play. And last but not least, the icing on the cake towards the latter part of this segment. It's about putting down vision early enough to see what is happening around those objectives. Wards will stay alive long enough if you place them around 3 minutes and 25 seconds. At 4 minutes, the first 2 major objectives, Herald and Dragon, have spawned. Now it's time to identify if you're able to fight or if you have to trade an objective. Take into account if enemies use ultimate abilities, summoner spells or anything like that briefly before the objective spawns. Also really matters what your champions can do at that time. Power spikes and relative champion strength are the keyword here. An Akshan is going to be 10 times more scary in that period than an Orianna. Unless obviously the Orianna hits the shockwave of the century. But by far the most important detail here is that losing a dragon doesn't lose you the game. What most players don't understand is that if a team contests an objective and collectively dies, it's quite the issue compared to just losing a dragon and gaining golden stats elsewhere. Instead of giving in to that urge of mindlessly fighting over nothing, get your team to farm as much gold as possible before the next objective spawns. Being able to purchase another major item before the next dragon or baron fight will ensure that you and your team are in the best position to carry the game. And this is for all WildRift players. There's nothing more important than sidelane waves in WildRift. After the laning phase ends, we're entering the penguin period. People will just stick together like cute little penguins and run at you. So rather than facing them head on, you're going to attack their economy. Before you do anything here though, take care of those side waves. That is attacking their economy. Make sure they either slowly push into the enemy base or hard crash into their towers. Look at this. Getting a kill grants you 300 gold plus assist gold and experience. Killing a normal cannon wave grants you 255 gold plus the potential local gold and the experience. Minions matter. They can also end the game on their own, as your side lanes will feature anything from 3 to 7 cannons or maybe more. So good luck with those.